Hello everyone. It has been a while. I do apologize for that. I'll be honest, I've not really been in the frame of mind to make any videos for a while, but with CitizenCon just 10 days away as things stand, I'm starting to get really hyped again, and I've decided to record today because we are now into the all waves for the PTU for 3.24.2, and I just had to check, and I do have access to have a look at the new RSI Zeus Mark II ES and CL. So I thought, I know a lot of other people have been doing these videos as well, but I wanted to have a look myself. You guys can see my first reactions or hear my first reactions to the ships, and see what I think. I was actually genuinely considering buying one of these two with my CitizenCon money. I do have the MR pledged, but obviously that is not coming out this week. It's going to be a while before we get our hands on that one because it literally has no purpose until Bounty Hunting version 2 is out, and at the moment we have no idea when that's going to be. So I was starting to think maybe I'll get one of the ESs as a new daily driver. I use my Mercury Star Runner as my main daily driver when I'm not doing salvage. I don't really use my Titan that much anymore. But I thought, I might pick up an ES because it will get some use. And then eventually, once I get my MR, I can, cash the ES in for store credit and use it towards something else. However, I've learned today that obviously I get a chance to have a look at them in this PTU. Apparently, I'll also be getting the ES as the replacement loaner for the MR. We currently get the Cutlass Blue, and I'll be honest, I don't use it. Again, we don't have that version of bounty hunting in the game, so the Cutlass Blue is kind of redundant as well. So if we are definitely going to be getting the ES, and I've got every reason to believe we are because it came from a member of CIG staff, then that's brilliant because that means that ship is going to get used pretty much every day that I play the game. And on top of that, I am an Imperator subscriber, so I do technically get to use every new ship for a week when they hit the live servers. So I'll also have a CL for a few days as well. But in the meantime, let's have a look and see what we think of these two ships right from the off. And I mean, I think we all knew straight away that visually the Zeus ships were fantastic. What they were based off evoked, modern day NASA shuttles, and we still have that design language, but with the RSI angular design to it. There's not a lot that you can say except that it just looks absolutely fantastic. I do know the wings, I believe, fold out a little bit. You've got a little bit of a wing underneath, a little winglet that folds out in flight as well. But generally, there's not a lot you can say specifically about the ship. You can just sit here and admire it for what it is. But I have a feeling these ships may become possibly the most popular ships in the game because they're a step up from a starter ship and a very good step up from a starter ship for a fairly low price. And from everything I know about them, they just seem ideal for the majority of players who aren't necessarily into like big multi-crew gameplay. So we're going to head in at the back. I do love these engines at the back here. Up the ramp into the cargo space. And we obviously have all the component storage around the edge of the ship here with some little display panels. I wonder if they will ever do anything. We've got a fuse box there for the ship, and with engineering coming in, fuses are going to be quite important. We've got another load of components this time. No fuse box this side. And we have this one here as well, which is for the radar, which obviously, you know, doesn't exist yet as a component, but that will come into the game. Did the other side also have a doorway? I don't think it did. This is just a random panel here for no reason, so it's just an extra little bit of space. We've got our fire extinguisher ready for fighting fires, and we've also got a view of the fuel tank. Can we open this? I wouldn't expect us to be able to, but okay. So we can just see the fuel tank. It would be nice if there was some kind of graphic on there that showed your fuel content, maybe, but that's like really wishful thinking. And you know, a decent little cargo space. You can definitely get some smaller vehicles in here. I've got one of the Rangers pledged, so that will almost certainly be something I carry around. Can probably get the STVs, maybe the I can't remember what they are, the smaller Tumbrils. No doubt Dragonfly. Maybe, can we get a mule on there? Might be touch and go. Not too sure. We'll have a test of that someday. We're not going to fit the Nurser on. Let's have a look through the rest of the ship. And, of course, first of all, we come into a very... I do like this aesthetic. I really like this grey and blue aesthetic in the ship. It feels... I can't describe how it feels, but I just really like it. So through here, we've got our cabin with 3 lockers. We've got a seating bench. That's just a logo. Some shelving. Is this anything? No, it's just a nice texture that just runs around. I quite like that texture, actually. It would be nice if there was maybe, I don't know, a gun rack there or something, or a tool rack maybe. And then we've got 3 bunks and a weird looking set of shelves. I'm not quite sure about the shelf. I'm not overly convinced about the shelf. Could something else have gone there? Again, I don't know what. Maybe another bunk for a passenger. I don't know, but I do find that shelf a little bit odd. And then, of course, I think we go through here. And we've got the ship head, for the proper term. Head and shower combined. Yeah, so it looks like this time the shower... Oh, it is up the top there, so the control would be there. And, of course, we can't see ourselves in mirrors yet. Okay. And then if we head across the corridor, we've got the little window there. And we've got our lovely little kitchenette. It's quite... I think this is quite a big room for the size of the ship. You know, you would expect most of the time you're going to have at least the pilot and co-pilot, maybe in the cockpit. I guess you could fit the other 2 crew members here. So, you know, you could have a little bit of a shift system. Got some storage, more shelving, more storage. Quite a lot of storage there, actually, for our drinks and food. And none of the coffee machine type stuff that we've seen on other ships, although it's there, but it's just not labelled. So I don't know if they've just missed off a few labels or if they're just not bothering with that. Sit at the little kitchenette table. That's enough space. And you get a nice little view outside with that, actually, while you're flying along. I do like the fact you can see it here that you've got the external part of the window is actually at the angle of the ship, whereas the internal window is flat as you're looking at it. That's quite a nice little touch. It would be very, very easy for them to just, like, internally just make it all look flat, but they've made the external window follow the contour of the ship, which is cool. We have... Okay, so here's a gun and tool rack. Okay, no, that's fine. Again... It's really subtle, but, you know, the textures and the colouring of that gun rack is probably... This sounds really, really sad. This is my favourite gun rack in the game, but it just looks good. I mean, if this is what RSI ships are going to have going forward, it really does feel like they've taken quite a step forward. in their ship design and in the finish of their ships, and I'm looking forward to like this level of quality being carried on going forward. And with such a big focus on RSI ships at the moment, you know, this gets us excited for the Arastra, the Polaris, the Galaxy, and various other ships that are being worked on or due to come out, hopefully, in the not too distant future. So fantastic work by the teams who have designed this. I can't remember if this was Montreal who have been responsible for this one, but whichever, fantastic job. And yeah, I'm really excited to get my hand on one of these permanently, to be honest. We've got the old floating steps, although they're not floating. I do like that design. Lots of labels on the flooring to tell you what's in front of you. Got it there again. So that's our ladder to get out of the ship. We've got yet another fire extinguisher. And then we've got our engineering station. So there's the terminal, which is coming soon, TM. In the middle here, I believe we've got the fuse relay. So budding engineers, get ready for those. We've got storage for the shield generator, a battery, gravity generator, and the shield generator or generators. Click that. Okay, so that one opens them both. So a shield generator for this one. That gravity generator is going to be huge. And of course, we're going to need to maintain all of these components going forward. Make sure they stay fixed, replace them as and when needed, fight fires. So yeah, awesome. Head forward again, and we've got some suit lockers. And I have actually seen this. I really, really love the animation for these doors. Have a look at this. That is really cool. My one question is the bottom of the ship deep enough for that door to fit in? I think it is, because we've come up a bit of a level there. So it'll be interesting to know what's underneath us there. But yeah, those are our suit lockers. I'm really, really hoping they get around to physicalizing these suit lockers sooner rather than later. I would just love to be able to like open all of these and have 3 sets of full sets of armor just sitting there to be picked up. Like, I really hope that's something they can work on relatively soon. It may be something that comes with the base building and habitation, because I think come that stage, that's when things like that will get worked on. Then we've got our docking collar or airlock. I don't know if there is actually a docking collar with it. It'll be interesting to see if we can dock at stations or to other ships. It does look like we should be able to. It's got the right shape to it. It's got the groove as if a tube is going to come forward, and there's definitely latches on the outside for a docking tube to clamp onto. So yeah, that is cool. I think one things I noticed externally while I was looking at the external view is if I close this door, yeah, so it actually does hide the airlock behind a very flush panel, which again, it's a really simple thing, but it's also a really nice touch. Let's have a look at the cockpit. Such a smooth and quick animation as well. And into the cockpit. So we've got some more component access, shield generator, avionics, and life support. I'm not sure what the avionics is going to be. If anyone knows, let me know down in the comments, because I'm not quite sure what the avionics would... I'm not a pilot. I'm not savvy on these kind of things. So if anyone does know what that's going to be, let us know. Obviously, was that another... So we do actually have 2 shield generators, but they're in different places. So I think that's quite a good idea, because if, say, the engineering station catches fire, this one hopefully stays stable. So your shields are going to, hopefully being the really important word here, going to be able to stay up. And then back here, we have another weapon storage, including... Oh, that's a nice touch. storage for one of the bigger guns as well. So that's good. That is really good. And also more storage for your multi-tools and med guns. You could really properly equip this ship for all 3 crew members quite nicely. And speaking of the 3 crew members, here we go. We've got the 3 seats, the gunner, the pilot, and the co-pilot. We've got another fire extinguisher. Is that? Oh, we can actually see the missiles down through the floor. That's kind of cool. I really hope there's a really nice lighting effect when you fire these missiles that kind of ripples through the cockpit a little bit. That'll be something to look out for as well. I know when I was watching the videos on ISC, I did think this does look very, very cramped. So I just want to see just how cramped this cockpit is. Like, that is tucked right in, and then as it spins round, like, I'd be a bit worried that if, like, we were all real people in the game, we'd be smacking our knees on the other seats or on each other. But we'll see. So this is from the gunner seat. We've got our MFD, which is off to the side, and from here, there we go. Cool. We can zoom in, and we've got our controlling power to our guns. And we've got a scanning station we can cycle through. So we've got a general tab. We've got a gunner tab as well. So we can actually set a lot of settings here. So precision lines, lag pips, fade pips, single pips. And then for general, IFCS, ESP, proximity, cruise mode, space brake enables boost. So a lot of the settings that you would have in the settings menu, we can now control from our MFDs. And I have to say, the MFD looks really, really nice. It's very, very clean. And in a weird way, I kind of like the fact that they're set at a slight angle. So you kind of, your view is there while you're firing, but then you'll look over here. Could they have turned them so that they sat at an angle so that they were flat at you if you're looking to the left? Maybe. But it may be something to do with the orientation of the seat in the other mode as well. And we do also have power on. We've got an exit. We've got entering the remote turret. Let's have a quick look at the remote turret. So there we go. We've got a remote turret under the ship, which has 360 degree on the horizontal axis, and it just drops by, what is that, 40 degrees on the, that's the y-axis, I think. I'm no good with axes, don't ask me. So, and okay, so they actually fold away. So there is, I think there is potential there for them to maybe have it that when you're into seated configuration, it actually angles more towards you, rather than being flat looking at the back of the ship, as it were. So that's maybe a minor adjustment I'd make there. And if we come into the co-pilot seat, I'm not expecting much from this seat that is particularly different. So again, we've got power management, we've got all the same things. We've got the shield. I do like the new wire graphic for the shields. We've got shields and self-status look very similar. So obviously self-status will show damage in the ship as well. Target status. Okay, cool. And obviously we do also have a lot of other indicators here that I'll explore in more details. And our scanning map is, I love this. I really love this. I love the fact it's got a ping that is live. I'm looking forward to seeing this in combat. In some of the big events in particular, be really good to get a look at this ship. And again, for the pilot, we've got the 2 panels. Again, could they be angled to face you a little bit more? Maybe. Is it necessary? No. But again, something that I personally might have designed a little better, or differently, not better, differently. But I'm not a game developer, so I can't sit here and criticize these guys. Got a lot more of the eventual controls here, opening the exterior. And how is the view? We've got a pretty decent view. These roll bars are quite thick. They're quite chunky, but I can see out to my left and right fine. I can see in front of me with no problem. Might be nicer if we could see above us better, but again, not essential. And for landing, we've got a really, really good view underneath us. So if we're landing in any slightly awkward places, we can look down and we should be able to position the ship really well from there. And again, we can even see the missiles here, so definitely be cool to watch those being fired and kind of like shooting along that beam as they go forward. Yeah, I'm liking this. I am liking this. So let's store this one. I'm only in my medium hangar at the moment rather than the large. If I was in the large, I'd actually put this off to the side somewhere and bring up the other one. But as it is, I don't think there's enough space. Let's exit the ship via the ladder. Mercury Star Runner could, excuse me, do with one of those. And oh my goodness, that disappeared very quickly. Okay, and here it is, the Mark II CL, the cargo version. Again, visually, like, there's not much different to say. You've got an extra roll bar there. And obviously it has a different paint job. Be interesting to see what paints they come out with on release as well, because they usually do 2 or 3 when it comes out. We obviously have the Day of the Vara paint as well, which I personally am not so keen on. But I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people out there who love it. We're not going to do a full tour of this, but we are going to look at some of the key differences. And the obvious one to the CL is a much, much bigger space for cargo. I think, is the door a little bit wider? And if so, will that allow for a slightly larger ground vehicle to come in and fit in here? Possibly. Now, I'm probably not going to bother with the cargo version, simply because I've got the Mercury Star Runner. And at the moment, if I want to do any of the cargo related stuff, I've got the MSR, which has a lot more cargo space. That's not me knocking this ship in any way, shape or form. It's purely I have a lot of love for the MSR, and it just does what I need when it comes to the cargo work that I do. So slightly different configuration interior, obviously, because it's deeper. I think the other one came back to about here. The wall was around here. So these 2 bits were set back a little bit further, or this bit was. I think it's this bit that's been halved, actually. No, not halved. It is this bit that's changed. So the entrance to the rest of the ship is different. We've kind of got a little barrier this time. And we've actually got a weapons locker back here instead. Which I guess kind of makes sense. You could probably put a load of tractor beams in here for manually maneuvering some cargo around. So that has a logic to that design. We've lost the little windowed fuel tank thing, which it wasn't essential. And if we go through, we can see that I'm pretty sure, yeah, this bit is shorter because there was the extra cabinet for guns. So that basically has been moved from there. In fact, I think the door would have been there. This would have been the gun cabinet, but that's been moved out there. And this time we don't have the seating area and the extra little bit of shelving. We also don't have that nice little bit of detail that went around the edge because one of the lockers has been put in that place. I don't think that does anything, at least not for now. Same configuration with the beds and the random shelf, and the bathroom is likely unchanged. Yeah, that's identical. So obviously, to make room for more cargo space, they kind of had to truncate everything in this middle section. And as you can see, the kitchen is just missing a meter or so off towards the aft of the ship. Doesn't impact the functionality of the ship at all. In many ways, I kind of think this size kitchen makes more sense for the Zeus overall. I've got a feeling it's smaller on the MR, but we'll have to wait and see, because we have the early design, but we know they've made some changes. And then we've got the ladder to go back, and I think the rest of this is probably exactly the same as it was before. We do still have the blue and black interior as well, so they're keeping with that color scheme. We've got the, yeah, everything here is exactly the same. And then in the front cockpit, yeah, in the cockpit, not just the front cockpit, everything here is identical. But obviously one of the big differences with the CL version, the cargo version, is we now have, I think it's just enter remote turret, isn't it? We now have a very slightly buggy tractor beam. And if I go to the outside of the ship, there we go, you can see it right there. Let's zoom in. So it just pokes out of the back of the ship on an articulated arm. And we go back into the remote turret. So we just got this tractor beam, which unfortunately I didn't have anything in storage which I could pick up. But actually, there we go. Let's grab one of the medical beds. And it's very much use your scroll wheel in and out. Use the R button to change how it sits. So all the same, all the normal controls for the tractor beams. And, whoa, it's not like the Argo, the Atlas tractor beam. It doesn't automatically pull an item towards it. But what it does is it twists around really nicely, and I somehow managed to close the cargo bay doors. Have I still got that set to hashtag? I have. So there we go. We can just... Oh, that was a little bit aggressive. It's very, very sensitive. Probably need to change some mouse settings for this. There we go. And we can just put our... Oh. Well, in theory, you can put it on there and it will sit there, but apparently the medical trolley disappears. We've got a lot of graphics in terms of this as well. Like, we've got the angles, both y-axis and x-axis. We've got our maximum range, our maximum force, our maximum angle there. And then we've just got the target, which, if I find another... Do I have another one over there? No, I don't. Sad. Okay, well, but that's cool. And then I assume if I get out the seat... just wondering if there's a button to retract it. There isn't, from what I can see. Okay. Hopefully that auto retracts them when... Oh. So, they are the differences with the CL version. I am really, really looking forward to getting my hands on the MR, but I reckon we're waiting at least a year for Bounty Hunting V2. It may be something that they talk about in CitizenCon in 10 days' time. I hope so. I really do hope so. Especially now that we've got Pyro coming. So it makes sense to get Bounty Hunting in relatively soon. And obviously the Zeus MR can't be that far off being ready. It's more a case of we just need the gameplay for it. So, but yeah, there you go. They are the Zeus Mark II, ES and CL. Let me know what you think about these ships down in the comment. If you've got one, what ones have you got? What ones do you think you're going to fly the most? And do people agree with me? And I've already made this a prediction over on Threads. I'm going to make the Zeus the front runner for next year's ship showdown. Not sure which variant yet, but I reckon it'll be a finalist at the very least, if not the winner. So do you agree with me? Or do you think maybe the Polaris is gonna like blow it out of the water, or maybe even this rumored new starter ship that we could have coming in the next couple of weeks? Let me know what you think, guys. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do drop me a like and subscribe to the channel. I will try and get some more videos out. I'm hoping CitizenCon is going to really give me that massive boost that I need to get the energy and the passion to make the videos again. I hopefully will get some videos made while I'm at CitizenCon, maybe something live as well, although I can't promise anything on that. It's going to really depend on battery, signal, and what we are and aren't allowed to film. But keep an eye on the channel for anything like that. You can, of course, head on over to Twitch at Jedi Andy TV, where I do once a week stream Star Citizen live at the moment. I'm also doing Star Wars Jedi Survivor on a Monday night over there. Once that finishes, we may be going on to Elder Scrolls Online. We may just be doubling up on Star Citizen. Really depends how passionate I am about this at that stage. And of course, as I just mentioned, you can find me on Threads. Again, Jedi Andy TV, which also means there's an Instagram under the same name. So yeah, come and join me. Come and share your Star Citizen stories with me. In the meantime, happy hunting, everyone, and I'll see you all in the verse.